So today we're going to continue to talk about Dungeons and Dragons in context to McDonald's. I get this every 3 to 6. I get this, some in some periods it's more frequent, but every 3 to 6 months I have somebody come in and say, "Scott, you talk about Dungeons and Dragons like it's the best tabletop role playing game in the world. All Dungeons and Dragons is the McDonald's of Dungeons and Dragons. McDonald's doesn't have the best burgers. You ridiculous fool. McDonald's does have the best burgers. Here's why. So one, you could go to, and I want to talk today about why Dungeons and Dragons very much is the McDonald's of tabletop role playing games, but why that's a very good thing and not a bad thing, and why yes, the McDonald's burger is by far the best burger in the world. All right, so first of all, in order to understand this, you gotta understand American presidents. So Sagar over on Breaking Points with Sagar and Crystal, he recently said they recently did a piece on Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton came on and said some nonsense and like really harmed the Democrat Party the way he usually does and kind of embarrassed everybody. And Sagar said, Bill Clinton, he used to be a banger. You could put him on stage, he'd delight people and say good things. But you know when he really went sideways? When he stopped eating McDonald's and became a vegan. And I was like, and when I looked at the picture, the video they had of Bill Clinton, I was like, oh yeah, he looks terrible. Looks like a walking ghost, right? Like, he looked very wan and thin, like you would if you were a vegan, right? Like, and Sagar was like, yeah, when he had that McDonald's in him and he was saying banger stuff, now he sounds, you never know what he's going to do, and he's more likely to upset anybody than please anybody. Now, what's interesting is two presidents are famous for eating McDonald's, Bill Clinton and Donald Trump, right? McDonald's is an iconic archetypical presentation of capitalism. And that's the same with Dungeons and Dragons. The reason why Dungeons and Dragons is so powerful and so beloved, and why you cannot drag people to your OSR game and your indie game, but your own players are constantly asking you to run Dungeons and Dragons, is because Dungeons and Dragons is a capitalism winner. Right? It's not a socialism loser like an OSR game or an indie game, right? Where like you have to forget a whole bunch of stuff to give it any goodwill, right? You have to forget that, this Shadow Dark game, it doesn't have a single color drawing in it, but let's pretend it's equal to the art of Dungeons and Dragons. It's not, right? Nothing in it is equal to Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons has defeated Shadow Dark by every metric. And only if you artificially elevate one aspect of it does it even become playable, right? Like, so that's the issue, right? But what's interesting is but what is the defense that it's the best burger in the world, right? Now, first of all, if you put and this is where people get upset, and this is what I'm saying. The thing is not the thing. You ridiculous fool, right? I love Shake Shack, right? If you put a Shake Shack burger in front of me and a McDonald's burger in front of me, I'm gonna eat the Shake Shack burger. I like it better, right? But I don't pretend for 1 minute that the Shake Shack burger is better than McDonald's. It's tastier, the meat is better, the cheese is better, everything on it is better, right? But it's not a better burger. And the reason why is the only reason you could possibly think a Shake Shack burger is better than a McDonald's burger is if you didn't understand that the McDonald's burger carries American capitalism, carries American win, carries American popularism across the world. And the McDonald's burger has accomplished things. It's allowed millions of poor families to eat together with the same robust joy and the same laughter and the same awesomeness as rich families. That's not a small thing, right? The McDonald's burger embarrassed Russia when Russia went to Ukraine, and McDonald's said, we're going to punish you. We're pulling every single McDonald's from Russia. We used to, and this is point. McDonald's is literally allied with the U.S. military, right? The first strike comes from pulling the Big Mac. It's astounding. It's unbelievable, right? Like how powerful it is, right? And that's the point. Many people don't believe it. And they're like, oh, now, is it juicy? Like you ridiculous fool. It's not about what's going in your mouth. It's about what's going into your entire life experience. The McDonald's burger literally makes your life better in 100 ways. It literally brings peace. It brings goodwill, right? And only a ridiculous fool would ever think that a juicy, Shake Shack burger is a better burger than a McDonald's burger. Because a Dungeons and Dragons dungeon master, a Dungeons and Dragons dragon master doesn't think with his mouth, doesn't think with her mouth. We think with everything, right? With our intellect, with our emotions, and with our spirituality. We figure it out holistically. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing and have a fetch millennium.